Hello and welcome to CNN News 18 with me Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Ahead of the G20 Summit, ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave an interview to news agency PTI. The Prime Minister reiterated his stand on India achieving the target of becoming a developed nation by 2047 and said that corruption, casteism and communalism will have no place in our national life. The Prime Minister also spoke about the G20 Summit and said that there will be many positive impacts from India's presidency of the multilateral body, which are very close to the Prime Minister's heart. The Prime Minister also said that Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas is now a global mantra. India no longer is a nation of hunger, but of skill and aspiration. He also said that political stability of 9 years has led to several reforms, and the growth is the natural byproduct of those reforms. So that is the pitch that's coming from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Remember, these narratives are only gaining more and more momentum on the road to 2024, ladies and gentlemen, as the India alliance comes together. Let's decode what the Prime Minister has said and the political ramifications of that with our guests on the broadcast. I'm joined by Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, as well as Mohan Kumar Mangalam, spokesperson of the Congress. Good evening to both of you. Mr. Kumar Mangalam, I'll start with you because, of course, you have a bone of contention when it comes to the Prime Minister's vision. How do you react to his interview to PTI?
Well, I have no problem with his vision. I mean, unke muh mein ghee shakkar, as they say in Hindi, if indeed we do become a developed nation by 2047. I mean, I think the measure is obviously way beyond GDP. Senator Robert Kennedy once famously said GDP measures everything except that which is worthwhile. The characteristics of a developed country include high per capita income, diverse industrial mix, developed financial system, and a longer life expectancy, a well-developed educational system. Now, we have some of these building blocks, but we're still a long ways away. We're 107th out of 121 countries on the hunger index, 127th out of 146 in gender gap, 126th out of 201 in life expectancy, 161st out of 180 in press freedom, 131st out of 176 in economic freedom, 42 out of 55 in intellectual property, 86 out of 107 in perceptions of corruption. So we have a long way to go. But of course, the Prime Minister is entitled to make promises. He's done that very well in the past. He's just living up to those promises that's been a problem. Whether that promise be the doubling of farmers' income by 2023, whether in 2017 he promised that we'd have 100% electrification of passenger cars and then obviously came down and said 30% private cars, whether he promised 100 or claimed rather 100% electrification of villages, and then the government had to climb down and said only if 10% of households in a village are electrified, that's electrification. Or in 2019, when he claimed that India had become open defecation free, one just has to walk through some villages to see what open defecation free actually means, with many of the toilets being dry toilets, and a bigger problem being that the sludge from the toilets actually come in the pathway in front of their houses. So There are promises and lies.
Right, but in your opinion, with the India alliance coming together, I don't even know what you guys, I mean, no one actually knows what you guys stand for when it comes to any policy agenda. At least Prime Minister Modi is laying that out over here. We still need to, if you're talking about Prime Minister spreading lies and, giving a very false developmental agenda, no one in this country knows what is the alternative vision of the India alliance.
May I please come in?
My point is, you've laid out a string of allegations. I'm going to give the chance to Sanju Verma to counter to each and every one of them. Sanju Verma, please go ahead.
Thank you. And I listen to each and every reckless allegation without heckling, and I need my time without being heckled. First and foremost, let me be very clear that under the Congress, India's economy was a part of the Fragile Five. And it is with great pride, not just as the national spokesperson of BJP, but as an empowered woman, as a bona fide citizen of this country, I'm so proud that last year, we overtook the United Kingdom to become the world's 5th largest economy in terms of nominal GDP from being the 10th largest, point number one. And in absolute numbers, we are at $3.75 trillion, which is massive. Now, everybody quotes, a trashy Hindenburg report, but I'm surprised nobody quotes the report by one of the world's largest bulge bracket firms, Morgan Stanley, which says that come 2026-27, India is on the path to becoming the world's 4th largest economy by overtaking Germany. And if we grow at this current rate, then we will overtake Japan to become the world's 3rd largest economy by 2028-29. Now, point number two, we are this on the hunger index and we are this on the corruption index. Fine. But now let me give you some other statistics, because this is what matters to the person on the ground. And that is precisely the reason that the Congress has lost 2 Lok Sabha elections consecutively in 2014 and 19, because it is the proverbial ostrich with its head buried under the sand, refusing to look at reality in the face. Point number 1, the world's biggest financial inclusion scheme with more than 50 crore Jan Dhan bank accounts opened under the aegis of Prime Minister Modi, with more than 67% opened in rural and semi-urban areas and 56% plus of the beneficiaries being women. Point number 2, the world's largest health insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat. It is bigger than what even Obamacare once used to be. The world's largest self-employment scheme, which is highly underrated, but has started working its way through the ground, the Mudra Yojana. In fact, more than 23.5 lakh crore has been given to 42 crore entities, and 8 crore people who have taken Mudra Yojana are people who have taken loan for the first time ever in their life. And these are people today who are self-employed. From being job seekers, today they are job creators. Then let's talk about the world's biggest sanitation scheme.
Right.
You know, the Congress sits here and waxes eloquent. I'll just take 20 seconds more. The sanitation penetration rate, and this is there in the public domain, this is not data that Sanju Verma is throwing off her hat. The sanitation penetration rate under a thoroughly incompetent Congress for the longest time was a measly 38.2%, Ayushman. And today, the sanitation rate is almost close to 100%. So if a congressman sits here and tells me that nothing has changed in the 9 years of Narendra Modi, I will just say this, that right from the World Bank chief to the IMF chief to the United Nations Security General head, Antonio Guterres, he said, had it not been for India, the healing touch which India provided through its global outreach, all through the peak second wave of the COVID pandemic, was exemplary thanks to Narendra Modi's vision. Otherwise, the world would have taken far longer to come out of the longest and most deadliest pandemic that we've seen in more than 102 years. So please don't sit here and give a bhashan to the BJP. Do some introspection at your end. That's my message to the Congress.
Mr. Kumaramangalam, you can't deny these kind of reforms which have had some impact on the ground. And at the same time, if we look at just pure politics and we look at the kind of like the sentiments in the run-up to crucial elections, what's happening in the run-up to 2024, if you look at the sentiment on the ground, we recently got the Pew Research survey where 80% of Indians have a favorable view of Prime Minister Modi. This is a far cry from the sentiment on the ground that was in the run-up to the 2014 elections.
Let's not talk about sentiment on the ground, right? We're talking about the Prime Minister's claim whether we're going to be a developed economy in 2047, and nothing that the very eloquent Sanju Verma ji said points to decreasing income inequality. In the 9 years, 10 years that UPA was in power, the GDP per capita grew by 10%. In BJP's term, it is about 6%. So income inequality is one of the things that really has to be solved. And apart from pronouncements, like I already reiterated many of the pronouncements that he's made that haven't worked out, I don't see a roadmap to decreasing income inequality in our country, which is essential to increase our GDP per capita and essential for us to move into a developed economy status, which is what not only the Prime Minister wants, every single Indian wants us to become a developed country. Now, earlier you said that where is our agenda, where is our policy? It will be spelled out in detail. We won't make pronouncements without backing it up with what the path is. Right now, I don't see the path that Mr. Modi is drawing for us. I see announcements, but I've been seeing that for the last 9 years, so there's nothing new.
Right, but then how do you explain the sentiment on the ground? I mean, if you just look at the political success rate, the strike rate of the Congress party as compared to the BJP is dismal. My point is, your point
of the Congress party. One second.
Yeah, go on.
The BJP just convincingly lost Karnataka, which was an election that Mr. Modi made all about himself.
Right. Are you banking 2024 on what happened in Karnataka?
Let me finish. And Himachal before that. And you will see us win Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh.
We'll get to that. We'll get to Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh.
Yes.
But at the same time, my entire point is, are you telling me that your political strike rate is equal to the BJP if you won Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh?
I'm saying that we won UPA 1 and UPA 2. They won